Hi there, welcome or welcome back. Today we are running through all the books that are on my April shelf, and we'll try to find out what my April to be read will look like. But as usual, I will run you through some categories that I made. And last time when I did my to be read for March, I discovered that I had put a lot of Greek mythology related books on my March shelf. And I've read a couple of those by now, which you will see when I talk about my books that I've read in March. But this time, when I took off all my April books, I discovered that I did something similarly. It's not Greek mythology again, but I did somehow manage to cluster a certain type of books together in the month of April, and we'll end with that this video. But let's start with some recent releases. I have here What Wakes the Bells by El Tesh. This is a book that is based on a myth that is told about Prague, the city of Prague. And I thought it looked really beautiful and it looked really interesting. So that's why this one is on my to be read. Another recent release is Fable for the End of the World by Ava Reid. Now, if you've seen any of my previous videos, you might know that this is my most anticipated release for 2025, because it is like the Hunger Games, but told by Ava Reid, so I really cannot wait to read this one. Talking about the Hunger Games, I of course have to mention Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I haven't read it yet, and it's probably one of the first books that I'll be reading in April, as many people will. Then my second category is usually series. Now this is not my year of reading series, so I'm going to show you which ones are on my April shelf, but I won't be reading these this April. First I have the Butterfly Garden series by Dot Hutchinson. Now this one is about a man who has this beautiful garden filled with flowers and filled with butterflies, but apparently these butterflies are all actually kidnapped girls who have been tattooed to look like certain types of butterflies. So I think this is a really creepy series, and I do want to get into this sometime, maybe next year, if I decide to do my year of series. The other series I have here is the Assassin's Apprentice series by Robin Hobb. Now this one I've been meaning to read for I don't want to say how many years. A long time ago, when I was in secondary school. I should have read this by now, and I know I'm at fault. But once again, this won't be the year for this either. Running through some small categories, I have one graphic novel on here. It's The Moth Keeper by Kay O'Neill. I have no idea what this one is about, but it looked nice, so I got it. For short stories, I have The Penguin Book of Contemporary British Short Story, edited by Philip Hensher. This is also not my year for short stories, so that would be 2027 maybe. And then of course I have some plays, because I am trying to reread all Shakespeare's plays. I have A Midsummer Night's Dream, The Merchant of Venice, Twelfth Night, and The Comedy of Errors. All four of these somehow ended up in April. They made me feel like April, either because of the content or because of the cover. I think I will be choosing one of these probably to read this month, and the other ones will have to wait. Moving on to thrillers and detectives, I have Any Man by Amber Tamblyn. This one is about a female rapist who is raping men, and then we get to hear about the feelings of the men and what they went through and how they feel. So it's a bit of a twist, because there are quite some famous novels about victims of rape, female victims of rape. And this book, I guess, is tackling this in a different way. I have House of Leaves by Mark Danielowski. Now this one I won't be reading. I definitely won't be reading now. Now this is something very special. I am convinced that it is a thriller, but it looks like this. It has all these strange pages, all these fragments, all these different things. But I believe that they aren't really connected logically even. I'm not sure how to feel about this one. I have heard very mixed reviews. So yeah, not for now, I think. But if you have read House of Leaves, please tell me what you think about this. Is it worth the read? What is it about even? Then there's After That Night by Karen Slaughter. This one is about a girl who was attacked 15 years ago and now she works in ER, I believe. And another victim comes in, and there are a lot of similarities to what happened to her 15 years ago. Then The Twyford Code by Janice Hallett. I have been on quite a Janice Hallett streak lately. She is writing these thrillers which consist out of these mixed media type of things, which kind of feels strange to say after that House of Leaves reference, but in here they are in chronological order, and you can actually try and figure out what is going on and what is the mystery and how did it happen, and you can try and figure out who the murderer is and things like that. Now, I believe The Twyford Code was about this children's book author, and she has left clues in her children's books, clues to be solved, which totally speaks to me. I love those clue things that are left behind, and I love the idea of a children's author in here, and what Janice Hallett might do with that. I am hoping for some fragments out of those children's books, and that we sort of have to find the clues ourselves or something like that. Yes, I'm looking forward to this one. The last one on my thriller detective stack is The Bandit Queens by Parini Shroff. Now, The Bandit Queens is about a widow, I believe, and she has a lot of power, and she is selling jewelry or something like that. I don't know all the specifics because I didn't want to know too much. This one has been recommended to me both by a friend and by Dr. Cranky Pants Reads. So I would like to get to this one. Here I have my contemporary fiction stack, which is a bit of a mixed bag. I have Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, which is more of a romance novel, I believe, but I think that it is a toxic relationship, and I'm not too sure that I really want to read this one now. I have heard mixed reviews about this one, and the people who seem to like this book are usually people that like other books that I end up not liking that much, so this is not a priority for me. We have The Mighty Red by Lewis Eldridge, which is about a woman who gets proposed to, and she accidentally or because of the circumstances doesn't say no. And then there is this other man who is in love with her and who actually wanted to marry her. I believe this is just mostly about human interaction and family interaction. And I guess that it will be written very well because it is written by Louise Erdrich. There is Sally Rooney's Beautiful World, Where Are You? This one, once again, like most of her books, is about people who fall in love or don't fall in love. And everything about their relationships, whether romantically or friendships or family relationships. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. I have heard mixed things about this one as well. I know that it is an unreliable narrator, and I know that we are not going to like her. I don't know if I will be picking up this one, but please let me know if I'm making a mistake. Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Melor. I have heard a lot about Coco Melor recently. I don't know if I'll get to this one. It is about a young girl and she's a bit lost, and then she meets this older man and they start a relationship. I'm not really into the whole age gap thing, but I have heard that she can write splendidly, so I think I should give it a chance. Dawn French's According to Yes. Now, Dawn French writes these funny books. This would be something that I read in between heavier books to get some rest. This one is about this like high class family who feels like they have to stay high class and behave high class, and then there is this school teacher, I think, who comes into their lives, and well, shakes things up a bit. I might turn to this if I need something light or to pick myself up again. Which leads me to Broken by Jenny Lawson. Jenny Lawson also writes these very hilariously funny books, and this is also something that I might pick up if I really feel that I need to have a good laugh, if I need to lighten up the load. From contemporary fiction to historical fiction, let's start off with The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. I know that I really want to read some more Anne Patchett because I know that she writes really well. It's just that I haven't gotten into a novel by her yet, so I might have to give The Dutch House a try in April. Then there's A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. I have heard very good things about this one as well. I believe that it is about a girl growing up in Brooklyn. So it is this life story, I guess. And I think that this one takes place in the beginning of the 20th century, the 1900s or something. Please tell me if you feel that this is a must read. Moving on to The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. I have a colleague who recently read this book. And she really liked this, but she likes these historical novels with some romance and elements from the past that are in the present as well. And this colleague told me that this book is about this woman who has these female ancestors who were apothecary women who made these potions to help them protect themselves from the men in their lives. Now, I'm not too sure what to make of that. I don't know if these were potions to prevent them from becoming pregnant or if these are potions to actively use against their husbands. But it seemed interesting. She seemed to like the book a lot, so I guess I will have to read it just to talk about it with her. I have The Enchantress of Florence by Salman Rushdie, which is about this woman who claims that she is descended from witches or something like that, and because of that this man marries her and takes her with him to his original home, which is in Florence, I believe. That's actually all I know. I don't even know if that is all correct what I just said, but I know that this one won like a lot of prizes. And then I have this box of books by Toni Morrison. In here we find Beloved, Song of Solomon, and The Bluest Eye. I confess that I have only checked the back of Beloved, which is about slavery. Now I have heard several times over that Toni Morrison is this amazing writer, and I should definitely give her a chance. So I think that if I read any of these in April, I'll probably read Beloved, but let me know if that is a mistake. And if you haven't read any Toni Morrison yet, which book you should start with. Moving into fantasy, I have The Brothers Lionheart by Astrid Lindgren. Now this is a children's tale, which I actually read when I was a child, so this would be a reread because I used to love this book. Then there's Wayward by Amelia Hart, which is about witches. I have heard mixed reviews about this one once again. Some people seem to love this book, other people say that it is quite difficult to get into, and that they found it somewhat boring. So I'll have to see if this is something that I want to pick up. And then I caved and I got Quicksilver by Kelly Hart. I don't know if I will actually read this one now. I have heard that it is quite good if you are into like romantasy and things like that. But it's just this cover. I cannot take this one seriously. Let me show you a bit closer. It is with this guy and he has this actually shiny silver tear coming out of his eye. I don't know. I don't know if I'll pick this up. So let's just move on to science fiction. I have The Memory of Animals by Claire Fuller. This one is about a woman who enters this experiment and then she lives in this experiment, I believe, while this virus is happening or something like that. And she stays hidden there to stay away from the virus, and she discovers that she can also call up memories, and she starts to live in her memories more than in the real world. I think I got all of that right, but I don't know for sure yet. So that seems quite interesting to read. I also have Yumi and the Nightmare Painter by Brandon Sanderson, because I keep saying that I have to read my very first Brandon Sanderson, and this is a standalone book, I believe, so I wouldn't have to start and read a whole series to get started into this whole Cosmere universe that he created. I have both A Psalm for the Wild Built and A Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers. These are about these robots, and the robots decided that they did not want to live with humans anymore, so they went to live on one side of the world and the humans stayed on the other side of the world. And now I believe a human meets a robot and they start talking. And I guess that the rest of these books is more like philosophical, I believe, because of the conversations between a robot and a man. It is said to be quite good. The Measure by Nikki Erlich. This one is about the world, and one morning all people find this box, and in the box is a piece of string, and a piece of string shows you how much time you have left to live. So some people decide to look into the box and to see how much life they have left to live, and other people decide to not look into the box. And I guess we follow some people around and what they make of this and how they live with their decision or what they decide to do with their life. This is How You Lose the Time War by Max Gladstone. This one is about two agents or super agents or something who can travel across time. And I believe that there is a romantic element to it as well. I have heard good things. I did hear that it is quite difficult though. So we'll have to see when we read it. And the last sci-fi book is Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. This one is about a boy who has a very low IQ, I think, and now people are doing these tests on the brains of this mouse called Algernon, and they seem to work. It seems to improve the IQ of the mouse, and so they want to do the same surgery on this boy. I think this counts as a classic. And now we have reached that specific category that I was talking about. Once again, I didn't know this was happening, but apparently I link a lot of Asian literature to April. I don't know why, but I have You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thao, who is a Vietnamese writer. You've Reached Sam is about a boy who dies and his girlfriend cannot get over this. And she keeps calling his cell phone to listen to his voicemail. It feels quite young adult to me. Then there is Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. Now she is mixed race. She is actually partly Korean. And this book is about her Korean heritage and how to incorporate that into her Western life. I have heard nothing but good things about this book. It is a memoir, so it is real life, and I am very interested in reading this. Another Korean book is Welcome to the Yeonnam-dong Bookshop by Hwang Bo-reum. I hope I pronounced all of that right. It is about a bookshop and things that go on there. I believe it is very cozy, and it has a lot of these life lessons. The last Korean one is The Delicate Dream Department Store by Mi Lee. Now this one is about a department store where you can go and buy dreams. You can choose the kind of dreams that you want to buy, and it seemed really cute and very colorful as well. So I think this would be like a happy book to read. Next I have The Sword of Kaigen by ML Wang. I couldn't put this one in like a specific Asian country. It's just generally Asian inspired because it is a fantasy novel. It is about a boy who is at school and then they start to hear rumors about a war. Then the war actually comes. It is this epic fantasy novel, I believe, but it is a standalone. Also generally Asian is My Neighbor Totoro by Tsugiko Kubo. Although I think that most people know that this is a Studio Ghibli movie. I bought the novel, I haven't seen the movie yet. I will see if I actually read this or if I end up watching the movie instead. And then some Japanese books. I have The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle by Murakami. I haven't read any Murakami yet. And this one is about a married man who starts to receive these very explicit phone calls from a woman who wants to have sex with him. Yeah, I don't know what to think about this. And I have heard very mixed things about Murakami. I feel like people either love or hate Murakami. I have read The Strange Library or The Little Library or something like that from Murakami, which I didn't like. I unhauled that one, I think, in a previous video. So I'm not too sure that I will pick this one up. And then my last book is also a Japanese book. It is Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes by Eleanor Kaur. I think I will be reading this one. It is a children's book. It is quite thin, so I'll read it somewhere in between. I do believe that it is quite sad, so I will probably need one of those happy books that I've been talking about to follow this one. Okay, so that leaves me with 15 books on my to be read for April, which is highly unrealistic. Please help me make some good decisions here. Leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe if you want to. Help me out, people. I need your help, and I hope to see you soon in another video. Bye!